Hey friends, so I just wanted to do a quick video here this evening. I'm working on a video right now that I had some questions asked in the comments, like, well, hey, we didn't like when did this 572XP just suddenly appear on the scene? And so I kind of want to address a little bit of that. I'm going to tell you the story here. Okay, so the story is this. My stepson Logan and his fiance Haley wanted sort of a special gift for their wedding. Now, they got married just last weekend, and they asked me to make two things for their wedding. One thing that they wanted was a ring box, just a little cross section of a tree that would bear their rings, something that the ring bearer could take up to the altar, and it flips open and exposes the two rings inside the box. So I was able to do that for them with relative ease. I used a cross section of a piece of sassafras, and as many of you know, I have a lot of sassafras on my property, so sassafras was in abundance. But anyway, second, though, they wanted a ring, or not a ring box, but a wedding card box. You know how when you go to weddings, there'll be a box and it'll have a slot in the top where people drop their wedding cards. And so they didn't want just a box. They wanted something like, they wanted a tree. They wanted a 24-inch tall, 18-inch diameter at least cross section of a tree that they could have their guests drop wedding cards into. And I sort of procrastinated for quite a while because I'm thinking, how do I do that? How do I bore out the center of a 24-inch log? And so that was kind of eating at me for a long time. And then a couple of weeks ago, a couple of weeks prior to the wedding, my Logan and Haley decided to walk the property and look for the perfect log to make the card box out of. And they found one. They did. But little did they know that from their vantage point, this thing looked like a pristine dead tree or dying tree, but because it was surrounded by so much brush, briars, and stuff like that, all this crud and corruption, sin, and all kinds of things around it, they didn't realize that on the other side of the tree it had been lightning struck or something. And I mean, it had a wound going from the top of the tree all the way down to the bottom, and there was no way to get a good cross section out of that for a card box. So Susie and I discovered that when we went out there to try to cut it. And of course, we were a little bit discouraged by it.
So that tree's not going to work. We're going to go hunt for another tree.
So we decided, well, look, we have 53 acres of property out here. There's bound to be a tree somewhere out here that, we can get 24-inch. Well, we hopped on the four-wheeler and we rode the entire property, the trails on the entire property, and we came up empty-handed. I mean, there were a lot of big trees, but they were all like healthy trees. And we didn't want to cut down a good healthy tree just to get a 24-inch cross section out of it. So I did happen to find one dying tree that was alongside of one of our trails. So we decided to go after that one. So I get in there with my, so that was, I forgot why I was telling you this story. So the reason I'm telling you the story is because when I'm stressing out about how I'm gonna bore the inside of this 24-inch log out, Susie comes up to me and says, well, Wayne, just go buy a new chainsaw. Get one with a 24-inch bar. So I'm like, Are you serious? You want me to buy a new chainsaw? And I mean, I've been wanting a 372XP, one of those Huskies, for a long time, only because, I don't know, they're real popular. And I thought, I'm gonna check this out and see if they're really what everyone thinks they are. And I had my eye on this one at Winfield Power Equipment down the road from us here in Strasburg, Ohio. And I went and checked it out one day, and this is a month or so ago. And oh man, one day I'm gonna buy that thing. I'm gonna be spending $1,000 easily. So I said, Susie, really? You want me to buy a saw just to make their card box? Yeah, it'd be a great opportunity for you to get a new saw. So I jumped on it. So I headed over to Winfield Power Equipment there in Strasburg, Ohio, and guess what? The 372XP was gone. They didn't have any more in stock. Weren't sure if they could get any. So at this point, I'm like, okay then, let's check out that 572 you got there up on the shelf. So we looked at that 572. It had a 20-inch bar. I said, can you put a 24-inch bar on it? Yeah, I think we can do that. So they went ahead and put a 24-inch bar on that 572XP, and they gave me a 10% discount for being a military veteran. I was really happy with that. So I came out of there with a brand new saw for under $1,000, 70 plus cc's, and I was a happy camper. So anyway, that brings us back to the tree that I located on one of our trails. So we saw this tree that looked like a good candidate, and I cleared the brush out from around it and walked around the perimeter of it. It looked pretty much intact. All the bark looked like it was there. It didn't look like it had any, visible wounds. So I proceeded to fell the tree. I noticed as soon as I started bucking it up into what I thought would be good 24-inch candidates for the card box, the bark just kept falling off of this thing. And about half of the circumference of the bark was coming off no matter what I did. I got real discouraged with it and said, Susie, I don't think this is going to work. We're not going to be able to do it.
It's not going to work. All the bark has fallen off. Unless they want a barkless tree.
Well, that's why I asked if they wanted the bark on or not.
All right.
Susie doesn't like that kind of mentality. I mean, she doesn't like that. What do you mean you can't do it? I said, well, Susie, look, the bark's falling off. And she went along with me for a while. So the next day I went to work. While I'm at work, Susie's making her plans. She grabs my youngest stepson, Zach, and they head down to the property and head over to that tree with a four-wheeler, and they manhandled that, woman-handled that thing, whatever they did with it, they handled it, got it up on the four-wheeler, hauled it back to the Jeep, and then brought it back in the Jeep to our house here in Dover. And she brought a bunch of bark with it, thinking, okay, you know what? Half of the bark is good, and half the bark's laying on the ground. We'll just piece it all back together and make it look like a healthy tree. So I was committed at that point. So anyway, so now I'm like, okay, let's see if we can do this. Let's see if we can bore this thing out. Now I knew that I wasn't going to be able to bore it a perfect circle with that power saw. So I was willing to just cut it out in sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? A kind of a multi-sided circle, if you will, you know, maybe about 8 different slices, 8 different sides, and oh, you know what? I'll just throw some of the video in. You can see it as I'm talking about it. But so I ended up boring this thing out, put a bottom on it, took the top, and we pieced a bunch of bark on it. And within a couple of hours, we had ourselves a finished product for Logan and Haley's wedding, which was the next day. We did this on Friday. And so we hauled this thing down to the venue, and Sydney, which is a cousin of Logan, she went ahead and decorated this thing. Now, here's some pictures right here. Can you see them? There. That's what it looked like after Sydney put some decorations on it. So it all worked out. It was awesome. It wouldn't have happened without Suzie and Zach. So I'm just saying, behind every man is an awesome woman. I mean, I was successful at creating these projects for them, but really it was Suzie that made it all happen. So, love you, honey. You did a great job. Folks, listen, I hope you enjoy the video. If you do, do that YouTube thing. Give it a thumbs up. Let's see if we can get this channel rolling a little bit. I don't know. I don't care really, but you know, it does mean I reach out to more people, and if I can reach out to more people, that's always a positive thing. So I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to meet more people and spread the message of kindness and love as far as we can. So hit the like button. If you know anybody that would like this content, just, you know, mention it to them and have them subscribe. And those of you who've not subscribed, just hit the notify button when you do subscribe, because that notify button, that little bell, will allow you to get notifications when I post new videos. And you're not going to like every video I do. That's not the purpose of me put these videos. I'm not really. This is not like a contest for me or anything like that. I'm just putting videos up. I'm wanting to reach out to people, and I want a place where my children and my children's children can come back and see what their old man was up to back in the day, if you know what I'm saying. So, all right, folks, listen, that's enough for me rambling on here. You all have a great day. Practice love, practice kindness, put it in motion. Love you, folks. See ya.
I don't know if I said much about this little project here, but Logan and Haley, my stepson and his fiance, wanted a card box made out of a cross-section of a tree, as you see here. And so we've been trying like crazy to get it to happen. And this tree was one that wouldn't cooperate very well with us. All the bark kept falling off as we cut it. But we were able to, as you can see, salvage it. One half of it is actually intact. And the other half here, we will just paste glue, hot glue pieces of bark back in place to make it look good on the other hemisphere, if you will. So, all right, I guess we have to get ready for a rehearsal dinner. So I'm gonna go get ready for that. Susie's in there getting a shower now. I'm gonna head that way myself. It's hot, it's miserable, it's humid. This is Ohio. So, all right, guys, over and out.